Hey, what's up? It's Olu. We're going to go over a session I had with Carson, an 11-year-old athlete. He's really talented. He's a long jumper. He's already got a bunch of records for his age group. So last time I worked with Carson, his approaches were one of his few weak points, and I saw that when I was working with him last week. As you can see here, he is a bit out of position in this first attempt that we had him do. On the second attempt, knowing that he was out of position on the first, I put 2 water bottles that you might be able to see in the back there to force him to be powerful with his first 2 strides so that he reaches the water bottles and it puts him in better position at the board. You can see the results of it on this attempt right here. And when we look at all the attempts side by side, you can see on the attempt 1, he was a little bit behind, his body was out of position. Attempt 2, he's in better position, but his foot was over the board. And then I had him move back 1 shoe and do exactly the same run up, and he was perfect on the board on the third one. Carson is probably one of the most coachable athletes I've ever worked with, so he makes my job really easy. As soon as I told him to move back 1 shoe and run exactly the same way, he hit the mark right on the money. The key takeaway here is that Carson was able to get on the board because he drove his first 3 steps out more powerfully, which covered more ground and put him in better position. For the second segment of our session together, I had Carson do about 5 short approach jumps. We're going to go over a lot of the body position and technical details I think he needs to work on in order to improve. He's already had a couple big breakthrough jumps, but a lot of what I've noticed is he reaches at the board. You can tell his right foot is way out in front of his hips here. And he also has a very dramatic big split between his legs. A little bit of that is natural in a long jump. It's just how physics works. But this is actually a little bit too wide, which is showing that he is out of position going into his takeoff. The cue that I gave him to fix this is to make sure that his last few steps going into his jump are faster and more rapid, which will automatically clean up that takeoff, allowing him to ride that drive knee up and out into the pit. As he gets older and focuses on that, he's going to make some very big breakthrough jumps. But he's got to make sure he works on maintaining speed through that takeoff. In the final part of our session together, I had Carson work on doing more accelerations just to reiterate the running mechanics I want him to be doing throughout the season when I'm not working with him directly. I put 2 water bottles as markers, as you can see in the video here, and I asked him to try to push those first 2 steps out to each marker. He's a couple inches short of both of them. That's okay. The point is that we did it a couple times and he was in the neighborhood each time. We really want him to continue working on this throughout the season, because as he gets out of his comfort zone and making these strides a little bit bigger and more powerful, kind of like a sprinter, it's going to directly affect his approach in the long jump and how he's going to be able to maintain speed throughout the board. It's just one small part of a bigger picture, and when you put it all together, it's going to come through pretty well for him. So to recap, the first thing Carson should focus on is taking big, powerful first steps in his approach. What he tends to do is take small, inconsistent, choppy baby steps. So make sure those first 3 steps are big and powerful. That will directly lead into point number 2 for Carson, because by taking big and powerful steps in the first part of his approach, he'll be faster in the last couple steps into his board, which once again leads into point number 3. That will allow him to focus on maintaining speed throughout his full jump. Alright, I hope this helps. Feel free to hit me up anytime for more coaching advice, and visit thedailyathlete.com for more technical breakdown videos. Alright, till next time.